Hey, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games. If you're new to this channel and you've stumbled upon this video because you play video games, I normally talk about tabletop games I've played on this channel and my favorite mechanism in those games. I rarely talk about video games, and when I do, sometimes I haven't actually played those video games. And this is the case today. I recently heard from someone who watches our Facebook Live video, someone named Tiago, that there's a game called The Ghost of Tsushima that recently came out on PlayStation 4. And he mentioned a core mechanism in it that fascinated me. And so I've watched a bunch of videos about it. I'm just fascinated by this mechanism. I don't have a PS4. I'm probably not going to buy this game, although I'm tempted to because it is absolutely beautiful. And I highly recommend, if you want to see what the game is all about, I have some photos here to show you kind of the essence of the game, but these really don't do it justice. Go check out a video for Ghost of Tsushima so you can see how beautiful it is. But the mechanism, so basically I am working on an open world tabletop game. And so I'm always looking at open world video games because most of the truly open world games in existence are video games, not tabletop games. And so I've researched a lot of different video games. And Ghost of Tsushima is an open world video game. And it does something I have not seen in another open world video game, which is the way that it guides players towards objectives. So basically, from what I understand in the game, if you talk to a villager, say, and they say, you know, my husband was captured by the invaders. He's in this village over here. Can you help me get my husband back? Something like that. That's your objective. And it's an open world game. There's no HUD on, and no, there is a map, but there isn't like a HUD on the screen showing you which direction you should go. But it's an open world game. It's a first person view, so you can kind of look around and say, okay, the village is over there, I'll ride that way. But along the way, if you get distracted by certain things and you forget which direction to go, the game does something really cool to show you where you need to go. And this is my favorite mechanism in this game. Basically, with a swipe on the controller, you can trigger, I think that's called like the winds of destiny or something like that. It's a wind mechanism where the wind actually blows in the direction of your objective. And so as the wind blows, you see grass move. You can kind of see in this photo. You see grass move, you see the wind over the water, you see leaves on the trees float that way. And so rather than giving you a pin, like a game construct on your screen here, you actually just get to keep your eyes on the actual world itself and have the game or the world itself show you, hey, this is the direction that you need to go. I think that alone is brilliant. But I dug a little bit deeper and I found that there are other similar mechanisms in the game, including these birds. You can see this little bird here. Birds sometimes fly by and they might fly in a certain direction and they might be leading you towards something. So again, the game is using the world itself and the creatures in the world to steer you in certain directions. There are foxes. If you stumble upon a fox den or a fox, the foxes, I believe, lead you to shrines, so you can follow a fox to a shrine. I think there's something like this in Zelda Breath of the Wild. I believe dogs can lead you towards something, maybe treasure, sometimes nothing. I think it's like buried stuff. And also crickets in this game. Crickets can, if you hear crickets chirping, they might be near something important as well. So you're not only looking for stuff, you're also listening to the world itself. And last, I've heard that there are torii gates. There's traditional Japanese gates that if you see them, you can kind of see them in the distance often, and they can lead you towards, I believe, like dexterity challenges or something like that. So I just love the idea that you get to keep your eyes on the world itself instead of having this screen filled with a bunch of pins and directional markers and things that remind you that you're in a game, rather than immersing you and letting you just use your actual eyes to look at the actual world of the game. I think that's actually completely brilliant. The wind, the birds, the foxes, the crickets, and the gates. Really, really brilliant. Yeah, I hope to play this game someday. I'm not a huge video gamer, but it just sounds incredibly beautiful and incredibly unique in that way that it steers players. And if you've played it, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, or if you can think of another game that uses this type of mechanism, especially in the tabletop world. I think it would be pretty difficult to use this in the tabletop world, but I have a few ideas for my game on how to do it now that I've learned about this method in Ghost of Tsushima. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about all that. Thanks.